I'm the Executive Vice President of the Junior Chamber of Commerce this year, and I'm so excited, I can barely see straight, because we have a speaker that is part of the Super Bowl.
Does everybody have a seat? Yes. Get it? And what I'm going to do tonight is actually, I'm going to kind of talk to you from the heart and a little extemporaneously. So what happens to those countdown clocks at kickoff? So I'm at the game with my husband and a sales consultant that I had hired to work with me on the sponsorship development side sent me a text and said, Robbie, guess what? Guess what happens to those countdown clocks? They start counting up. So now I know that it's been 23 days since the game.
Century in the making. In 1912, population under 200,000, the DFW area was not the metroplex it is today. But North Texas was put on the football map that year when the Texas Longhorns and the Oklahoma Sooners met in Dallas for the first time. In 1937, the national spotlight turned to the region once again. In the inaugural Cotton Bowl, Texan Sammy Ball quarterback TCU to victory over Marquette. By the early 60s, the population in North Texas topped 1 million. The region was developing into an international center of commerce. The Metroplex was ready for pro football. So in 1960, Dallas native Lamar Hunt started the AFL's Dallas Texans. 1962, University of North Texas graduate Abner Haynes led the Texans to victory over Houston for the AFL championship. Dallas was also ready for the NFL, so it welcomed the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys used their first ever draft pick on TCU defensive star and native Texan Bob Lilly. But the face of the franchise was a charismatic quarterback from Mount Vernon, Texas, SMU's own Dandy Don Meredith. Wings again. We're cutting him. We're going to football. We're going to football. By the 1970s, the Cowboys were America's team, but they brought a pair of Super Bowl titles to North Texas. Touchdown! To the Dallas Cowboys and the champions of the National Football League. The 70s also provided some of the old-time great Texas OU games and some of the biggest stars in the Red River Shootout history, like Heisman Trophy winners Earl Campbell and Billy Sims. The 1980s typified the advancement of North Texas. The Metroplex was in full bloom. So was the Cotton Bowl. That is 3 touchdown passes for Doug Flutie. They put together on the third goal for UCLA. Back in the end zone. UCLA. The 1980s gave way to the 90s. Football fever peaked in the region as the Cowboys won 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. And Dallas, your Cowboys are champions. 2 in a row. I'll swing it in. By the 21st century, the North Texas Metroplex typified the spirit of the new millennium. The embodiment of that spirit is the new Cowboys Stadium in Arlington. 20 years and over $1 billion in the making, it's the perfect setting for Super Bowl 45. Arlington is home to the Texas Rangers and Cowboys Stadium, but for almost 40 years, Irving was where the Cowboys hung their hat, and it's still home to their practice facility, Valley Ranch. Arlington and Irving are just part of what North Texas has to offer. The region has transformed into the 4th largest metropolitan area in the country and one of the nation's cultural hubs. Dallas has more restaurants per capita than any other U.S. city and the biggest urban arts district in the world. Fort Worth is home to Bass Hall, Sundance Square, and world-renowned galleries like the Kimball Art Museum. Although it's no longer just stockyards and Stetsons, you can still find both in Cowtown. In the state where everything is bigger and where football reigns supreme, It's only fitting that North Texas hosts the biggest game in the NFL's biggest stadium in front of TV's biggest audience. You can be part of the biggest Super Bowl ever when North Texas hosts Super Bowl 45 on February 6, 2011.
Of over 10,000 volunteers that really worked at our hotels, our airports, our venues like NFL Experience to make Super Bowl 45 the best ever. Yeah, we had some snow that we couldn't control. What was up with that? But we thought every day the sun would come out tomorrow, and you know, we had the worst weather that has been recorded in North Texas in a long time. Yeah. We were on the world stage. I mean, truly, we had more eyes viewing Super Bowl 45 than, as I mentioned, any other television program. 10,000 volunteers I've mentioned. You know, many things about transforming the stadium. More than 5,500 credentials were issued for Super Bowl 45 out at Lone Star Park, which I know your former president used to work for, Lone Star Park.
So what is the outcome of putting in the bid for the 50th anniversary?
Well, great question, and you know, that is what is on the minds of everyone. Will we get another chance? Will we get another opportunity? And we all know that we can't control the weather. I think the thing that's interesting, if you saw that slide, so the next Super Bowl will be in Indianapolis. And if you go to Indianapolis and it snows, you might have expected that. And then following Indianapolis, New Orleans, you won't expect any inclement weather there. New York, New Jersey has 2013. And so New York, New Jersey actually has an open roof. What's up with that?
Yeah.
But you expect inclement weather. I think the thing about our weather that was a little disenchanting is that you really didn't expect it, but when you got it one day, maybe you thought, okay, it'll clear up, and then to have great weather the weekend before and the weekend after. I remember Bill would speak, and he would always say, pray for good weather. Well, I don't know who he was talking to because something backfired. But seriously, so we're the only region without a sports commission, and one of the things that we are actually looking towards is to form a sports commission for this region that would not just work on Super Bowls, but that would work on large sporting events coming into our region. Things like the U.S. Olympic Trials, NCAA, BCS, and because now we have several venues, American Airlines Center, Cowboy Stadium, we actually are working on a strategic plan to develop a sports commission for this region.
How much did he have say as far as the Super Bowl as everything progressed?
So Jerry, as I mentioned before, had 1/32 of a vote to bring the game here. After that, Jerry was really not very involved. Our host committee is a standalone entity. We are actually a 501c6. We're an independent organization. We're not part of the NFL. We're not part of the Cowboys organization. Roger Staubach was is our chairman, and Bill Lively, our president and CEO. So that's who we work directly with. Thank you guys so much.
You're new to the Junior Chamber. I know there are a lot of new faces in the crowd tonight, and you're wondering, how do I become a part of this? How do I get involved? Kevin Lateco, our Vice President of Membership, is going to come up, and he's going to talk about the new member.
I'm the VP of Membership. Hello. If you're new and interested about membership, I am the person to talk to. Sorry with bow tie. But if you just recently joined, we have a new member meeting March 9th. I'd be more than happy if you guys come. We talk about what being a member is, what it entails, and what benefits you get.
I'm the Vice President of Community Service. To let you guys know, our community service for this month, on the 26th, which is a Saturday, we're going to be volunteering from 8 o'clock until about 1, and we're doing Marathon Kids. I'm very excited about this. It's a Texas-based program, and it's reached out to several major U.S. cities like Chicago, Los Angeles, I think Denver now as well, and it combats childhood obesity by getting kids to run a marathon over the course of 6 months. And then they run their final mile together on the 26th at a stadium in Addison. And they also encourage the kids to eat vegetables 26.2 days out of the month. And it's a fantastic program, you guys. They're expecting like almost 6,000 kids. So.
Good evening. Am I loud enough back there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because 2 days ago I didn't have my voice, so just wanted to make sure. I am the vice president of marketing. So, outside of going to the website to find information about what's going on with our group, and also social media, we're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Meetup.com, Twitter. We have accounts with all those social media sites. Our newsletter is a great way to stay connected to what's going on a monthly basis. So,
on behalf of Mark Brown and myself, I'm Amanda Chadwick, and I co-chaired this year's event, and had a really, really good time doing so. And we couldn't have done it with some of our committee cheerleaders and everybody that was on the committee. And just wanted to thank just the volunteers that we had and that showed up and were actually productive and did their job, and those pikes that were over 21. And the sponsors, yes, thank you. The sponsors, the donors, and especially the committee. We worked really, really hard, and we started back in November, but we didn't want to burn anybody out until January, so we pretty much really pushed it, and had some pretty cool sponsorships that came through at the end, especially with the silent auction. And I just wanted to really take my hat off, which I don't ever wear, to Brandy Crozier and Kimberly Stoner, because they had a really, really hard job with the sponsorships and marketing the actual event. So last year we had almost 350 people attend, and then this year I think Ponce said, you said it was almost 460, whatever.
I also want to call someone else up to the front if he has an extra hand. Thomas Garza.
Why?
Oh, I
forgot.
Well. Thomas and I are good friends, so I guess I took advantage of your
Thomas
efforts.
is
Can you grab that, Kimmy?
For their hard work and dedication, I want to recognize these two fine individuals for their service. This is to Thomas Garza and Miss Amanda Chadwick.
Thank you.
Thomas for all of his tireless support as our cameraman and for our photographer at all of our events. He does it out of the kindness of his heart. And of course Amanda for all of her hard work with taste and making it the most successful wine tasting ever. So thanks a lot, guys.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it.
You'll stay there.